After a thoroughbred's racing days are over, for those who don't become a broodmare or stand at stud, a life of just relaxing retirement can only be possible when the people to whom these horses have given their best choose to give them their best in return.
The United Pegasus Foundation, a nonprofit organization nestled in the mountains of Tehachapi, California, is dedicated to providing retired racehorses with a dignified retirement or a second career when they come off the track. And no horse has had a greater impact in saving other horses by attracting both attention and donations to the foundation than the star of the farm and one of its oldest residents, former Champion Sprinter Cardmania, who is now cared for by the farm's founder and president, Helen Meredith, whose husband, Derek, was the gelding's former trainer.
The thing about Cardmania was, even though he raced an awful lot, he basically trained himself. If you ever look at his workouts at Santa Anita, he was the slowest horse.
Eddie D always used to say he was a 10,000 claimer in the morning, but he knew when to turn it on.
I used to ride him all the time, and if I ever dropped him to the rail, and my husband Derek would say, you know, go half a mile, he'd go 51. Even if you went in company, the company would always win.
He was a kind horse to ride. You could do whatever you wanted with him. But he normally would lay off the pace. You didn't want to be too far out of it or too close up on him. You had to lay off the pace with him.
In the fall of 1993, at 7 years of age, Cardmania was in the prime of his life.
And away they go, broken a perfect line.
As the gates opened for that year's running of the Grade 3 Ancient title, a race he had lost the year before, Cardmania was finally ready to prove his mettle.
About the 3/8 pole, Eddie got him to the outside and just started moving. And I mean, he must have hit the front of the 8 pole, and I think he won by 6 lengths.
Top of the lane, Lucky Forever. Ohi in the red cap, Bahadur in the white cap, Cardmania in the shadow roll coming gamely, and then Wild Harmony and Music Mercy's coming late too. But Cardmania's kicked on, Music Mercy flying, but Cardmania's going to go on to win it. And it's Cardmania and Eddie Delahousse to take the ancient title from a flying Music Mercy, Bahadur and Wild Harmony.
Eddie D got off the horse and he said, wow. He said, I'm going to ride this one in the Breeders' Cup. He said, but don't tell Bob Baffert. He said, because I'm supposed to be riding his.
I had told Bobby, I said, Bobby, I'm going to ride Cardmania. He said, well, why? You won the Breeders' Cup Sprint on him last year. I said, Bobby, he's not right. He's not the same horse. I said, I'm getting a little old in the tooth. I was 40-some-odd years old. I said, look, man, I'm not getting any younger. I got to try to get on the best horse.
For the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and they're off. 30 Slows breaks alertly on the outside.
He came out that gate so fast. Then all of a sudden, he was going back, and me and my husband were going, this is the Breeders' Cup. You can't go that far back and come all the way around it.
I thought coming out of the gate, I said, uh-oh, we might be in trouble.
Cardmania was up close earlier, but he's dropped back to 10th.
He got pinched back on the inside, and I thought then, oh, the race is over. But Eddie managed to get him to the outside and came running.
As the field turns for home, Gilded Time takes a run at Mia Farah. Demalut Demishet hanging tough toward the inside.
When we reached the 8 pole, I was probably still about 5 lengths behind.
Cardmania is closing.
And he kept running, and he was moving, and then he just got up right at the wire.
Mia Farah is still there. Gilded Time. Cardmania closing powerfully. It's going to be close. It's final finish. Cardmania flying at the end.
I was sitting at the 8 pole. When he went past me, he was still half a length down, so I didn't see the photo finish. But I'm walking through the box area, and John Gosden said to me, you won it. And I said, are you sure? I said, you're not kidding me. He said, no. He said, you won it. I was in shock. It took me 3 days to realize it. I really was. I mean, phew. I was walking around the days, you know.
I won it. 30 Slews ran 4th. So I picked the right horse. But I didn't ride for Bobby Baffert for another year.
2 months later, Cardmania captured the Grade 2 San Carlos Handicap from off the pace, beating the likes of the Wicked North.
Davy Be Good, the one to catch the Wicked North, and Cardmania coming fast, and Porto Ferraio at the rail. Davy Be Good can find no more. Now it's Cardmania on the outside who gets the lead, and Cardmania to beat the Wicked North.
Cardmania won the 1993 Eclipse Award as the nation's top sprinter and went on to compete in numerous graded stakes for the next 2 years. But in the spring of 1995, after 74 career starts, finishing in the money 66% of the time and winning over $1.4 million, it was finally time for Cardmania to retire. The 9-year-old gelding would spend his golden years winning again as the face of the United Pegasus Foundation's efforts to both rescue and find new careers for his former foes.
I started the United Pegasus Foundation officially in 1994. And it's been a lot of hard work ever since. We've had a lot of horses donated or rescued, and fortunately enough, we've managed to retrain and find a second career for these thoroughbreds coming off the track. Basically, in our mission, we're dedicated to helping horses that basically have nowhere to go once their owners don't want them. And unfortunately, in the thoroughbred industry, most of them only race to a very young age, and the market out there for a second career is getting less and less. The ones that we can bring, we'll bring them back to the ranch, and depending on their injury, they'll get a certain period of time where we'll lay them up in an individual pen. And what I like to do is put them in with a herd so that they can actually be a horse for a few months before we'll pull them back out again and start to retrain him as a pleasure horse for hunter jumper or just a trail horse, depending on the situation.
There are currently 82 horses at the ranch, 62 of them thoroughbreds. Many are available for adoption, but others, like Cardmania, are supported by their sponsors, who make it possible for them to live happy and healthy long into their 20s, playing with visitors and roaming the hills in their herds.
Cardmania is doing very well, apart from he's breaking my feeders because he's always been a cribber. And you can always tell where he is because you can hear a bang as he's cribbing holding onto the feeder, and he bangs it all the time, plus pulling all the hay out, which makes more work for us. He's in with about 20 other horses, and he still looks young, and he's healthy, and all he does is eat all day and run around and play with his mates. So he's got a pretty good life.
Keeps you smiling and happy, and I go and see him occasionally, and when I see him, his muscle tone is really good. The only thing you can tell is his bottom lip drooping now with old age, and he's getting a few gray hairs, but yeah, sometimes I think, oh, I wish I could put him back in training.
The industry did do something well by doing that, getting organizations to donate money to get these retired homes for horses. And to hear that Cardmania and many other thoroughbreds are being fed, being taken care of, their hooves, their teeth, their coats, and the right thing they did, and it's a blessing they did, and getting a little notoriety still, even though they're retired, which is great.